Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over a React Native snack that I've been working on for my latest assignment. So for this snack, what I ended up doing was a discography app, basically, that took all of the music that I've done over the last, 8 months, and basically made it so you could scroll through the Astral Veil discography for all of the full albums that are basically built around me. I left the two seasonal albums out, but I did mention that at the bottom in the footer. So basically, what we have is a collection of text. We have our safe area view, which is the container that respects all the device screen boundaries. We have an image background that I took from my web page, and you can see that image on some of the platforms. I believe it's on Spotify, and sometimes it's on YouTube. It depends on what they end up putting for a banner. I think at the moment they actually have one of the songs as the top banner. And then it has a bunch of images for each of the album covers, and there's the scroll view, which allows you to go, top to bottom. You can look through, each of the image covers or album covers in a scrolling fashion, and then the view, which is the basic building block for the layout. So we import all of our libraries. We can or components. You can think of this kind of like as a Python app, even though this is in JavaScript. So it's not exactly the same, but I tend to think of things, the similarities between the different languages we work in. And I've got a little bit of a text header at the top. And then the next two pieces here are pretty much standard in every one of the snacks that you work in the Expo screen. So you have your export, which basically in the return that puts everything on the screen. And then your safe area view, which this is broken up into a nested format. So you have the main background, and this is where the main image is implemented. And then we end up going into various containers that have semi-transparent overlays. And this kind of gives it a little bit more of a professional look. It's kind of like putting a placemat underneath each of the album images. Next, we have a header section at the top, and this is basically a place where we can put some text. So we talk about Through the Astral Veil and the full album discography. And then we move into the main content section, and this is the album list. So there's a comment here that basically talks about the Catharsis album card, and this information is basically the same going through all of the album cards. I use the same basic format. So you've got a margin on the bottom, you have a background color, so we used RGBA, and this is the color code. A border radius, which kind of rounds the corners. We have some padding, and we're aligning the items in the center. And then we've got our text style, and then just kind of repeats over and over again for each of the albums. And then at the bottom, we have our footer section, and this basically just has some additional information about the app. It talks about the composer's personal discography, and what that means is the albums that I displayed are the ones that are non-seasonal. So the seasonal albums don't have anything to do with me, whereas all of the other albums have a personal story behind all of the songs. And then I talk about how the other two seasonal albums are not displayed, and then more to come. So that kind of gives a little bit of anticipation that there's, that this isn't just a static app that's never going to be touched again, that there may be something that comes in the future. I didn't put a date on there in case, our class projects, move on to something else. But that's basically it for this. And then if we take a look at, so the user experience improvement explanation, we do have a summary at the bottom. I won't read all of this here, but basically, the overview is that the theme is coherent, that, it uses the Through the Astral Veil background image from the website. I list the website on there. You have a visual hierarchy, so I talk about the semi-transparent overlay, or the little plate thing that goes under the background images. There's content context, where each album covers the immediate visual recognition. So anybody that's listened to this music before, they're going to recognize the album cover immediately. There's an emotional connection. It's professional in appearance, and it works across different devices. So although in this case I'm only showing the iOS, I could take extra time and show the Android, but it does work on the other ones. So if you scroll through the iOS version, you can see that it scrolls up through each one of these. I like the the semi-transparent plate under the album cover. It does make it look pretty professional. And then you can kind of see the doorway in the background, and that comes from this one image that's on my web page. If you go down to the Alchemy of Our Sound, there's an image there, and that's the one that ends up on, I believe, my Spotify, and I think on my YouTube, and there's a couple other places that it shows up. But that's basically everything. So that's about it for today. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will see you all next time.